Just a quick video today because I don't think there's that much that I need to say on this topic. I just wanted to talk about it briefly. A couple of things happened recently. The first one is that one of my friends over dinner told me that I am the blackest person he knows because I listen to R&B and I care about social justice issues. Which, great guy, really like him. I think he said it as a joke, but yuck. And in addition to that, someone the other day asked me why I speak up so much on issues about race and representation. Right. This doesn't need a huge explanation. This isn't about me, but I'll just tell you why. Okay, so where I'm from is very, very white. I think it's 97% white, very middle class. There was one black girl in my entire year group and maybe 3 in my school. And there was hardly anyone of any other ethnicity. I grew up living in a bubble. I didn't realize what other people experienced. I thought that was the norm. I grew up just not thinking about race at all. But when I went to uni, I went to SOAS, which is the School of Oriental and African Studies. Old-fashioned name, I know, but it's a university in London. It's part of the University of London, and it specialises in humanities and specifically stuff within the geography of Asia and Africa. So I studied history. That's straight history. The degree is a history degree, but it was all Asian and African history. So how did you end up at SOAS? Why did you want to study this? Well, in my first year of A-levels, the history course we did was the British Raj, which is India and colonialism in India, and what we did, lol. And the answer is, we were awful, but it was fascinating. And I just realised how much more interesting all this other history was than all the European stuff I'd done beforehand. And so when I was applying to uni, I was like, I don't want to study kings and queens and the plague and the world wars again. Like, can I do this way more interesting history? So I go to SOAS and it just opened my eyes. I could not believe some of the stuff that I studied. Most of the stuff I studied. SOAS as a university is hugely active in anything to do with social justice, political issues. It's incredibly aware, like super, super, super aware. And so I was thrust into this environment. I've been on protests. I've been politically aware for quite a while through the Quakers, but this was like hyper real to the point where there were different schools of thought within the radicals. Like it was really, really intense. And for the first time in my life, I was in a really, really diverse community. The result of that was I just became way more aware of the issues that a lot of people face in society and how privileged I am, and I became acutely aware of my privilege. And it gave me the drive to educate myself and to use my privilege to do something, because I was frustrated and still am frustrated by the fact that we live in a world where there is still so much prejudice, and I have been absolutely blessed that I didn't have to think about it for 18 years. So as you may have noticed, I have a little platform on the internet, and I can do something about it. So I try to. My sister and I were having a chat the other day about how weird it is that people think you can only or should only fight for the causes that personally affect you, or they seem surprised when you fight for a cause that doesn't personally have an impact on your lifestyle. I'll insert that clip, maybe here?
Yeah, I was just saying that I think it's really interesting how people seem to only think that you can stick up for issues that affect you. When I talk about, for example, the new Doctor Who assistant being gay, people suddenly assume that I'm not straight just because I'm talking about it, which is ridiculous, because if more people stuck up for issues that don't affect them, then they'd get solved so much more quickly.
Yeah.
Because people listen to people in positions of privilege. It's important to support minorities, even if you can't give a personal viewpoint. It's important to listen to people that can.
But yeah, it just blows my mind. To me, it's just so evident that I should be using my privilege, and we should be using our privilege to actually change things, because we are the people who have the most influence, and we are able to get places more easily because of it, and our voices are louder. So I'm here and I'm able to do it. So I try to do it the best I can. And also I try and be open to criticism as well. If you are unhappy with the way I've approached something, then call me out on it, because I am still learning and I need to be corrected. So this isn't really a video about me. This is about how we should all care. And I don't know why we don't all care, but we should, and do something. If you're in a position of privilege like I am, educate yourself. And see what you can do, because there's probably quite a lot you can do. I think that's all I have to say on this topic. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should we be or feel obliged, if we're in a position of privilege, to comment on stuff like this and to raise awareness, be vocal, educate ourselves? For me, it's a no-brainer, but I guess for other people it's not. Great, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.